All right, I'm going to do a couple cards along the way for each section, just kind of chosen by some of my students actually. But some of these things are pretty common that you'll see. Something like this where you're adding two fractions together. So this would be, in terms of our homework, it would be in the second section, choose cards, 4 cards with addition and subtraction. So here's 2 of them with addition and subtraction. Maybe I'll even do number 8, which is down here further on the page. So the idea is that you need to be able to factor and recognize that, first of all, this is factorable. It's a difference of 2 perfect squares. So 3x plus 2 and 3x minus 2 are the factors. Recognizing then, please don't cancel those because you have an elevated x plus 2 and a lowered 3x plus 2. Those have no business being canceled by each other. What we want to do is add them together, and so we need a common denominator. So we're going to multiply by 3x minus 2, which gives us basically the common denominator, but it has to go with the 3x minus 2 over 3x minus 2. So you're distributing this x, gives you a 3x squared minus 2x. Okay? Don't forget, you've got 2 different fractions here with common denominators. So your denominators are 3x plus 2 and 3x minus 2. Your numerator now includes this 4x plus this new stuff, 3x squared minus 2x. Well, keep in mind, you can have parentheses there if you want, but you don't need them. You're not multiplying anything. You're combining like terms at this point. So the like terms, the like terms that we see are this 4x that came from there and this negative 2x that came from distributing, well, this x with the rest of this stuff. So, like terms, we have a 4x minus 2x, that's a 2x. I'm going to go this way with it. So on top I have a 3x squared plus 2x. On the bottom I have a 3x plus 2 and a 3x minus 2. Up top I can still take out an x, and I'm left with a 3x plus 2. It is now that you can cancel these because it's the product of something on top, product of something on the bottom. Your final answer is going to be x over 3x minus 2. There's your final reduced fraction. Okay. Number 4, similar situation here. Okay. And I'll just say this, you guys. If you have an x minus 1 and you're looking at this thing and you're like, oh, how do I factor this thing? Oh, I got to do one of those. Oh, that's a pain. Well, x minus 1 is very likely going to be one of your factors, because I'm not going to have a trinomial, well, 3 sets of binomials multiplied together for your common denominator. So that pretty much has to be one of your factors. If that's the case, then what times x is going to give you that 3x squared? Well, it's got to be a 3x. I got another question for you. What times negative 1 is going to give you a positive 1? Well, it's got to be another minus 1. Okay, you can factor without factoring. I think that's a clever little way of doing it. And if you double check, you got your outer term and your inner term. That's negative 3x, negative 1x. That's what gets you your negative 4x here. Okay, well, all that is to say that this thing over here now has part of the factors, but this 3x minus 1 is the other factor. So 3x minus 1 needs to be included here to get our common denominator, but you need to do the same thing to the top. Okay, well, this is going to require some FOIL. You've got your 6x squared. You've got the outer term is the minus 2x. Your inner term is a minus 3x. And your last term is going to be a plus 1. Now, you got to be really careful in this case. That's why I chose this one, because that's a minus right there. And you got a whole bunch of stuff after the minus. So, temporarily anyway, you've got a 6x squared minus 5x plus 1. But if you say you're subtracting that, I would highly recommend changing that to a plus and distributing it among all of these. That's a plus and that's a minus. So what was a minus became a plus, what's a plus became a minus. Now I can look at all this stuff, combine my like terms. Okay, 6x squared and negative 6x squared, those actually go away. I've got a 13x and a 5x. That's actually an 18x. And then I've got a minus 5 and a minus 1. There's a minus 6. All right. Conveniently enough, there's something factorable out of here. And if I can clean this up, I've got my 18x minus 6, and on the bottom I have a 3x minus 1 and an x minus 1. Well, nothing can reduce just yet, but if I notice I can take out a 6 here, I'm left with a 3x minus 1. And once you take out that 6, this thing now matches with that. You can cancel those, and you're left with a final answer of 6 over x minus 1.